gentlemen, All Saints Catholic Church in Dallas, Texas welcomes you to All Saints Coffee Chats.
All right, and we are live.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome to episode
58. 58.
That's
what
pretty
we wrote.
rad.
I don't know why I thought we were further along than that. I was going to say like 61.
So you're like, we're going to go with that.
Sometimes it feels like it's been more than that.
I was just going to make up a number.
Who knows at this point?
So, episode 58, joined by special guest,
Us.
rock
From the
star, Jessica Martinez. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, that's so
That is
fun.
good.
Thank you. Great.
I may or may not put that in there. I was
I
like,
like it, yeah.
I like that. That's
You gotta
your
get a business card.
Rockstar.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
as
I
rockstar.
mean,
No other details.
you
No
just
other
can't
details.
encompass
That's it.
like all the awesomeness that is Jessica. Sorry, words, they're not coming easy today. That's what happens when I don't sleep a lot and I'm losing the voice because anyway. Also when they're in a Dave & Buster's for like 4 hours and it's really loud and you're trying to talk to people
Yeah.
and you talk louder than you normally are.
That's intense.
I know you're wondering, Dave & Buster's, whatever. But anyway, national.
Come back to
Different story.
Circle back.
Squirrel. But yeah, glad you're here with us today.
That's good.
So we are excited Jessica's here with us. But yeah, all of you
I'm
there
excited I'm
in Facebook
I'm happy.
world, if you have questions, comments, put them there in the comment section and we will get to them as we go. How are things, Jessica, since the last time
Since we chatted. Or last time I was on here.
Yeah, I guess you were in the full midst of
It was fall when I was
missionary
here.
life,
Yeah. Yeah.
team lead. So what's it been like to finish?
Working?
Is it weird to be
I was like, what is finish
And I was
campus? Finish.
The sentence.
Maybe I shouldn't be talking. Sorry, guys.
So Jessica, what have you been up to since the last time you were on Coffee Chats?
There we go.
Yeah.
Great. So we finished.
Thanks.
We finished the academic year. My team and I, who I love, it was nice as Texas was opening up. We were able to do more with our students at UTD, and so especially Seek. So we had Seek here. That was the big turning point, I think. Thanks All Saints for hosting us. It was great, and that I think impacted our students a lot. And so and then it was really nice because Seek was right before Lent, and so then so many students after Seek were just really on fire. And we're like, I'm going to commit to praying every day. I'm going to commit to going to daily mass. And so it was really cool because it used to be just Katie, Evan, Eddie, and I at daily mass with all the wonderful older people. And then all of a sudden we had 10 to 12, I think at one point it was 15 students with us at daily mass. And so that was really cool. And so finished the year out. And this is my last year in FOCUS. So, yeah, I've been hanging out this summer. It's really nice.
So I have a question about Seek. Did y'all have a patron saint of Seek?
Yes. It was Blessed Carlo Acutis.
Oh my gosh. He looks like one of our students.
No, he really
can't
does. He
unsee
looks
it.
almost identical.
I can't unsee it.
one of our
Current or
kids.
previous?
Current. He's
Current.
gonna be a senior.
Yeah.
this
That's
year,
cool.
But yeah.
Every time anytime he's posted in an article or something, I just, I'm like, oh, they're so-and-so. And then I have to be no, that's...
Yeah. He's incorruptible.
Is he?
He's not completely.
Yeah, just sort of.
Yeah.
I
mean, he hasn't.
That's what.
He
not
hasn't
completely.
totally.
Yes, he hasn't totally. I don't think
We
he's
have Saint Anthony's tongue and just his tongue.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know how they.
because he was a famous preacher.
yes.
I actually
Oh,
have
yeah.
Hammer
a
of
relic,
heretics.
a third-class relic of him. I found it the other day, but it's a little cloth that touched his tongue.
I am a relic of him. I've had his bones rubbed on my face. I love telling people the story in that way as well, because then it's even more awkward. It's why were you rolling around in the dead bones of... No. We were in New Orleans for a mission trip, and they had his bones inside a reliquary. Is that right?
Reliquary?
Reliquary?
Yeah.
And they like rubbed it on our cheeks to
Who's
bless
got
us.
words now?
Okay, I was like, you didn't touch the
Yeah, but
bone.
I don't
You
have
touched
words
the
because I just don't have
reliquary.
words. I
touched
don't have
the-
an excuse.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't touch the
I mean, I
bones
don't really
themselves.
either.
I was like,
Yeah.
they wouldn't let you touch the bones.
No, not the
Yeah.
bone. But
Yeah.
they rubbed the relic on our faces. So
That's
yeah.
wild. Being
Any other
Catholic's so weird
saints showing
sometimes.
up people's lives?
None that have.
See, I got good
Saint
segues.
Joseph. I mean, it's Father's Day this weekend.
Yeah.
Saint Joseph is. I got the socks. I got the shirt. I'm all Saint Josephed out today.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday was the feast of the chaste heart of Saint Joseph, and then we had. Yeah.
Was it really?
Oh, is that what that
I
is?
Yeah.
didn't know that.
I
Well,
don't know that I knew what that was.
what is today?
Today's Thursday.
Because I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah,
if
so
last
yesterday.
week was
No.
the
It was
Sacred
yesterday.
Heart and the Immaculate Heart.
So the Sacred Heart was
Friday.
Thursday.
No,
Oh,
Sacred
it
Heart
was
is
Friday.
Friday.
The Immaculate Heart was Saturday.
And then the
Today's
Wednesday-
post-chaste heart.
Today?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Sorry.
The
Wednesdays,
16th?
like, right? Wednesdays are for St. Joseph.
Yeah. So
Man.
Are they?
yeah, pretty
When are
special
Wednesdays
week.
for St. Joseph?
You know how, like,
Teach me these
there's,
things.
like, First
Yeah.
Fridays.
Mhm.
Those are, like, for the Sacred Heart. And
Right.
then, like, First Saturdays are for Mary.
Yes.
Wednesdays
Joseph.
are for St. Joseph.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I learned that this year.
But like, what makes Wednesdays for St. Joseph?
It's the middle of the work week. He's a patron saint of workers.
Did you just make
No,
that up?
absolutely
like,
just
that
made
was
it up.
really
Yeah.
quiet.
No.
If you would have kept a
Sometimes you
straight
just-
face,
You just gotta be real confident with your
She would have believed
knowledge.
I was starting. I was like, oh, that's like a great.
Yeah, no. It's
And like even Eric and Andrew were like, all right, and then you laughed, and we were all like, darn it.
sorry.
Dang it.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, St. Joseph with Father's Day and everything coming up, it's constantly somebody that's kind of in the forefront of my mind. And I also was able to take place in a video reflection for the 33 days consecration with Prince of
Yeah.
Peace, where I did their video that actually was out today. So yeah, a lot of
That's nice.
St. Joseph this week.
I did that consecration too.
Yeah,
I had a bracelet,
It's
but I
been
didn't wear
really
it today.
cool the way that they've done it. Just like a 2-minute reflection video in the litany that they've been doing, and I think it's been a really easy access point for a lot of people who are still trying to figure out like what it means to consecrate yourself
Mm-hmm.
to. You consecrate yourself to Jesus through Mary or through Joseph, but yeah, what that looks like. So
Yeah,
That looks like-
that's right.
How about you guys?
JP2. Because
Words.
I couldn't remember what it was called. I've been reading
We're all
his.
struggling today.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
all.
I've been reading his Splendor of Truth. I don't know what the Latin. The very
Apostolic
body
Letters?
splendor.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we read that.
Okay.
We have other special guests with us today.
Who may or
There
may
was a
not
door
make it.
squeaking.
Who are really excited to be part of the show.
Okay.
Anyways, yes, I've been reading that from JP2, and I've been reading a section of it because I read it in school, so I've just been trying to like come back up with it again. And the section that I'm reading is all about like not how we can't be freed from the truth, but we're freed through the truth, and that going along with like our moral thought and how we process and kind of like mind's autonomy. And there's a lot of like big words. I was reading it in the chapel the other day, and I would like read a paragraph and be like, okay, read it again. Okay, what words did I not understand? Let's go through those. Like go back and circle through it.
I think it's pretty common with a lot of Pope John Paul II
Yeah.
stuff.
It's big stuff. And there's like
Dense.
saints in there that he was referencing that I'd never heard of, and I was like,
You know, out of all the popes, he canonized the most.
did he really?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
the
like-
most saints.
I
Like
should've known
it's
that.
double the
During
next.
his-
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's probably why
Like-
he's like all
like,
these that he can.
between 200 to,
It's
like,
good-
to
good
300,
word.
right?
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm also rereading a book about John Paul II.
Oh, okay.
Do you want
he's great.
to? He had Pope for like 20.
He's the
27,
second
27
longest
years.
standing
27
pope.
years?
I think so.
I was gonna say 27,
Right?
and then I was like,
That's
I'm trying to remember. Let me see. He's like the second one. I think the longest. No, third. Because there's St. Peter and then someone else who were before him.
Interesting.
Let's see if I'm actually absorbing what I'm reading.
Yeah,
he,
yeah.
he canonized almost 500 saints.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
More than I said.
Four,
Yeah.
482.
That's pretty cool.
482.
That's pretty
That's
impressive.
wild.
Are we?
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
would make
also.
sense why he knows all these
Yeah,
things,
he
'cause
probably like
I can name like
could tell
50.
us, Yeah.
I know.
This is somebody recently that I was talking to is like, if you're prove to me that you're a Catholic, name 20 popes, and they're like, John. It's like, oh, okay. Well,
That's a good
maybe
one.
I should have rephrased my question. Yeah, it's like, took care of 23 right there.
That's
so.
funny.
John.
There you
Benedict.
go. Yeah, Benedict takes care of 16. There you
Yep.
go.
Yeah, there you go.
You've got almost a quarter of the popes just naming John and Benedict.
Yeah, honestly.
John, Benedict, John Paul.
There's only 2 of those.
That's true. Right, but just.
Yeah, true.
All the variations.
But
What about you, Andrew?
I was thinking about. Hey, stay with me here. We were doing a trivia game yesterday with the teens that were here for Breakfast of Champions, and it was like a weird Catholic trivia, and they asked about just like random Catholic things that some of which were pretty common, but some was like there's a bathtub devotion to Mary or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
that's weird.
yeah. Thank you.
It's not a bathtub devotion.
No, I know. That's a weird way to say that. Something about a bathtub
Probably
and
not,
devotion.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the idea that they'll use old bathtubs as
Just gonna
backgrounds for Marian statues.
Oh, okay, that's not weird.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
that's not weird.
That makes a lot more sense.
Not a bathtub
I thought like
devotion
while you're
to
taking a
Mary.
bath, you're praying to Mary.
I mean, I'm sure there is too, but
Slightly different.
Mary's mothers, yeah.
No.
I mean,
But-
anyway, keep going, Andrew.
that wasn't even the point. But now I know. So there's another question that was just so random, like who's the patron saint of unattractive people? It's like
Yes.
Saint Drogo, and
Yeah.
apparently, like I don't know what he did or was to get that like patronage, but I don't know, like
So what does that mean? Does it like is it like if you feel unattractive, you pray to Saint Drogo to become attractive,
yeah, I don't really know.
or to be consoled?
But I'm
because
pretty
you're
sure I'm
unattractive?
pretty sure he's also the patron saint of coffee.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
That is
almost,
yes.
Because isn't
feeling really
the
connected to
Scott
this guy.
Powell and Father Peter Mussett out in Boulder, Colorado, where the FOCUS missionaries are kind of based? They have a St. Drogo's coffee shop.
Yes.
Do they?
Because
Yes,
he's
they
the
do.
patron of coffee.
That's what I
So
was
maybe
like.
it's just like people are unattractive in the morning because they're not morning people, so they got to get St. Drogo caffeine, you know.
We're gonna go with that one.
Until
I like
like
it.
that.
I just like how you just kind of like make stuff up and then assume
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
true.
But it makes sense.
he's also the patron saint of hernias and deaf people.
To coffee.
These
People
are
who
really
work in
random.
coffee shops and people who find other people to be repulsive.
Okay.
So he's
People
not
that
just-
find
This
other
guy's
people.
awesome. We clearly
He's covered all your bases,
we
man.
need to do more research into Saint Drogo, the patron of the unattractive.
Saint Drogo, pray for us.
I think.
Question mark.
Maybe.
Question mark.
Maybe.
Probably.
I mean, I'll take all the coffee I can get at this point.
I am gonna read more about this guy for next week. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay
Next
tuned.
week we'll have a whole
So,
show
if you have any obscure
about
saints out there, share them with us.
repulsive.
Um,
The other one that was kind of weird was Saint Aphrosius,
Yeah.
who
Is- yeah.
was beheaded and just picked up his head and walked away after
Yeah.
being beheaded.
so bizarre.
No.
Yeah. Well, see, and
Yeah.
it threw me off because we've talked on the show before of Saint Denis, who was also beheaded, picked up his head and began preaching the gospel for like somewhere between 2 to 5 miles. So yeah,
With his
imagine-
head in his hand?
Yeah, he was carrying it, and his head just kept talking.
That's a little
So,
creepy.
Yeah, I mean, saints are awesome. But yeah, this guy apparently just picked up his head and walked away. He was like, "All right, fine." Like, just picked it up and moved on. I was like,
That was
He's like,
"How many
weird.
times did this happen to the
Well,
saints?"
Yeah, but I mean, it was different though.
Yeah,
Did he say,
he didn't
like-
preach the gospel. He just walked off.
He went and made a
I'm
statement.
He's
done
like,
with
it's
you
already
people.
been done. He's like, I can't do that. I'll just
Yeah.
walk.
After that, he
Unoriginal.
became friends with this guy
Unoriginal.
named Drogo, and that was the connection. Yeah, that's how
Oh
it went
my
down.
god.
It was on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Bring it all back around.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, my
How about you,
goodness.
Chelsea?
Recently found Saint Julianna.
Falconeri?
Sure.
Is she an Italian saint?
With a name like Juliana. It's just safe to bet, yes.
Pretty good.
Yes, we're gonna go with yes. You'll have to tell me if this sounds like her story.
Go for it.
She was like orphaned at the age of like 5, and then ended up living at a convent when she was like 13. But yeah, it was just like her whole life of like just kind of being abandoned, but she never really got discouraged of, from all of that. And I'm totally blanking now. As I'm trying to think of her name, the rest of her name.
I think, yes. Wasn't she also friends with Saint Peregrine? Did I make that
I
up?
don't remember that being a part of the story.
I believe it.
But sure,
Wait,
probably.
And companions.
Julianna.
Hey, I'm all about being.
Oh, there's a
companion.
lot of Juliannas.
We're gonna be.
Okay.
We've decided we're gonna be Erica and companions.
That's
Erica's gonna
one
lead the
it.
way.
She's in okay.
Erica's going to be the saint. We're going to be the companions.
So if you want to be
Saint
companions,
Erica
come and
and
join us.
companions.
Well, can
Erica's
I
gonna
can
lead
I
the-
just like be my own saint?
You can. You can be.
Is that prideful?
Nope.
Dang, I should be in
Never
companions.
mind.
That's the
Not
humble
happening.
one.
I mean, that's the goal, right? Like, we're
The
all
goal is to
trying
be a
Secret
named
life.
canonized saint.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
But isn't it more humble to be the unnamed canonized saint?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Then you're saying,
Yeah.
like, are the saints who are named not humble? Like,
I don't know.
I guess they
What
would.
did
they all
I
live
think if
pretty
you're
solid lives of humility.
I think it's like the humility, but it's like the confidence that like I've kind of like I'm on the right track. Like the confidence and like knowing you're headed towards heaven. And I think it's like I think there's a fine line between like pride and humility, but like I think it's the confidence of that, not becoming overly confident and then you become prideful.
Yeah, because you can find like joy and confidence
Yeah.
in the the fact and hope in knowing that you're striving for heaven, and if that's what you're really focused on, then why would you not have the confidence that that's the direction you're going in? If that makes sense.
I'm right there with you, yeah.
Yeah.
So all of that to say, I think Erica and I are agreeing that that's not prideful.
Sorry, I
Not
missed
that
it
we're
'cause I
the
was looking
judge
up
of-
about Saint Julianna Falconeri.
Maybe. What was her story?
Anyway.
Yeah, she was an orphan, took up the habit fairly young.
And she started a religious order,
Yes.
the Servites.
Yes, the Servites.
Okay,
Same
so
one.
Same one.
Same one,
That's
okay.
her.
So
She
we go.
died, and she was like really ill. So that's what I was reading right now, and I was kind of struck. So she died, but she was so sick that she couldn't like receive the host. So she asked the priest to lay the host like right here on her chest, and so the host disappeared.
So there's the humility we were talking about.
So, and she's
Way
the
to
reason,
just be a better person.
or she's one of the reasons that we now have the Feast of Corpus Christi, because she, like, perceived through prayer that there was to be a feast day, like, fully
For the-
celebrating the Eucharist.
That's cool.
And so, like, push, but the, like, feast day wasn't established until, like, 6 years after she died. It's all coming back to me.
Nice.
That's pretty rad.
What level of like sanctity in your life do you have to achieve that you absorb the Eucharist through your skin?
Yeah.
Like, how do I get to that? Did I miss out because I wasn't an orphan when I was 7? Like, what do I need? Like, honestly,
That's
like,
the one qualification.
how do you-
That's
have
the
to
one
for an
qualification.
orphan.
How do you even get to that point? Like, that's incredible. Like, I would love to be the guy whose head got chopped off. Well, not that part, but
As long as you also
like, pick up my head and walk around like preach the gospel. Like, it's like so amazing to me the lives of the saints that it's just like, oh man, how do I get to that level?
You don't.
Well, I know, not on my own, clearly,
No, yeah.
but like,
But like,
it's just.
my favorite quote, I think it's St. Thomas Aquinas. Is it Thomas? Or maybe it's Augustine. I don't know. But it says like, how do you be? They were asked, how do you become holy? And they answered, you desire it.
Yeah.
And so it's all God's grace working in us. So if you desire to be beheaded, or you desire to have the Eucharist absorbed
maybe
into your
not that
body,
part.
for the church, like
Well, yeah.
our God who can do incredible things will do
Yeah.
it through you.
Yeah.
And He will create the change in that.
Man, we need like these modern day miracles. I mean, they're still happening.
They're still
We
happening.
don't hear as much about them.
They
but
just
yeah.
need to be, like, brought to light and shared with people.
Or even just regular graces. I think we don't celebrate enough, like, the little ways in which the Lord answers our prayers. Like, I was looking for a place to live because my lease ends on the 1st of July, and so I asked Jesus, I would like a place to live by July 1st, and I would like to know by June 18th. I was very specific. And then last week, I found a house, toured it, applied, got a call the next day. Great, you can move in July 1st. And I was like,
awesome.
It's June 14th. Wow, Jesus, you worked ahead of time.
Better.
You did it better than I thought.
Yeah.
So there we go. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So,
I
like,
think that's
stuff
great.
like that.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's funny that you talk like specifics because I don't remember exactly who I was talking to recently, and I was like, name your thing, like name what you need, and they were like, well, that's kind of demanding, and I'm like, no, it's not. I was like, I think it becomes like an understanding, like to understand how Jesus is working, and that like we can like almost develop an awareness and like a like God's gonna speak to each of us in like our own ways, and like you got your clarity in your housing situation, and that like it's not a demand of like, Jesus, tell me now, but like I want to do your will, and so in order for me to do your will, like please let it help me to like shape it in this way.
Yeah.
And it becomes in like a working relationship, and I know this is probably not making any sense as I'm describing this, but I don't think it becomes a demand, but like for you to for you and Jesus to like understand each other.
Yeah, because it comes down to like, okay, I'm stating, so for the house, I'm stating what I need. So, and I'm being honest with Jesus about, he knows what I need, but he wants to hear it from me. Yeah. Because at the heart of it, he desires to be with me in every situation. And so by me not stating what I need, I'm withholding back a part of my heart with him.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'd rather just be honest, because then I'm just like, I'm being completely myself, because that's allowing Jesus to come closer to my heart. So, yeah.
So tell me this. Do you feel like your life of prayer has changed through your time within Focus, and like how you've approached situations like that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I think a habit that Focus cultivates is like a daily holy hour, along with like going to Mass every day, along with encouraging like praying the Rosary or Divine Mercy Chaplet or other devotions that they encourage. But being able to pray consistently every single day, pretty much, for 60 minutes has been like radical. I talked about this with my spiritual director the other day about just like receiving a lot of graces, and she's like, yeah, it's like the fruit of faithfulness is this what you're receiving. And I think because a lot of it is like people think it's like better if I pray a holy hour once a week than like 10 minutes a day, and it's like, no, the reality is the Lord wants to see your faithfulness, not just when you're feeling like it. And like he rewards faithfulness more than just like bursts of passion. So yeah, I think that itself, praying every day, has probably done the most for my prayer. And then reading stuff like books on prayer, like about either like by the saints. So like there's I think it's a Father Michael Gately book for Saint Therese.
Yeah.
You know what it's called? It's like
I don't remember the name.
It's about mercy.
He's written a few of them.
Or reading Saint Therese's autobiography. Like that is someone I try to like really follow a lot. Father Jacques Philippe has a lot of incredible things about prayer, like Time for God. My favorite is Searching for and Maintaining Peace.
That's on my current list.
It's so good.
33 Days of Merciful Love.
Yeah, I did that one. So with Saint Therese, and so like the resources, the encouragement, having monthly spiritual direction, having regular retreats. Yeah.
Well, you answered my next question.
What was your next question?
It was going to be like, what are things that you do in order to someone's out there going, so what should I do?
Find a spiritual director. Like everyone should have a regular spiritual director, not just a confessor, but like someone who has been trained to guide you in prayer. And the with that, it's like you have to do your part. You actually have to pray.
Right. it really is interesting. And the more time that I've like spent talking to spiritual director or people that I have a friend who's trained in spiritual direction, and just listening to her talk, and sometimes we'll have like normal conversations and then she'll go into like spiritual direction mode, and it's just really funny to have those the different, I mean, she's the same person, but she kind of goes into like the mode, and it's very much like the mirror, and it's always like kind of flipping back to you of like kind of what they're hearing you say, and then like where, like, and helping you to identify like where you see God in your life, which I found is to be a very beautiful thing. Catherine is asking, how does one find a spiritual director? That's a great question, Catherine. Do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, what I've done a lot is email. I usually start with the diocese.
Yeah.
Because wherever diocese you're in, usually a lot of time I start with like the vocation directors. They will have like a list of the spiritual directors in your diocese. So usually you can like email them to be like, hey, I'm looking for a spiritual director. Do you have a list of anyone of contacts? And they'll have like a list of priests, religious, lay people. That would say easiest. Yes. Or a lot of the times you can, I know what we did in California, there was a Norbertine monastery right by us, like 30 minutes. Norbertine's really cool. And so you could ask a priest, I think, to be your spiritual director as well.
And a lot of the Cistercians.
Yeah, this is
Similar
Say,
kind of thing.
Yeah.
your best bet here is either you go through the Cistercians or you go through the diocese.
Yeah.
Doing spiritual direction in seminary, I think, was like one of the biggest turning points for everybody there, like who hadn't ever done that before. It's like that was probably among all the things that happened. Like that was one of the most impactful parts of that time. And I think everybody should have at least some form of that. Because it helps so much.
Because you're like in your relationship with Jesus, it's like you're right in the middle of it, but sometimes you need a completely external perspective to be like, whoa, you're really like trying to earn God's love here. Like his, like, to remind you of truths and to guide you back of like, this is who the Father is. Yeah. That was
Right. Very good. Very good.
Very cool. We're all just gonna stay.
Scripture passages that are standing out to anybody? You guys got anything?
Yeah, I forgot
for us?
about that one.
I like I think it was a second reading. I don't remember
Today?
what exactly. No, for the Sunday, this coming Sunday.
Okay.
That's still last.
I don't know. Okay, I can't remember what it was.
2 Corinthians.
Yes. Okay, and it's when we were reading it at Bible study this past Monday, and we just got a kick out of it. We just kept going on about it because it's when Jesus and the disciples, they're on a boat. It says they're at sea, but it historically we're like maybe they were just like on a crazy lake or something. And like a wave comes and all the disciples are freaking out. And
it's
the wave.
gospel for
The
Mark.
gospel. Okay, never
Yeah.
mind. That makes more sense. I was like, I don't know why.
I was like, wait.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work. But they're like afraid, and they go to wake Jesus, and it's this like the way they portray it, like he's so dramatic in the sense that he wakes up and he's basically like what's going on, and they're like, this wave came, like we're all freaked out, whatever, and he basically like tells the waves to like quiet down, and then it says like he lays back down and goes to sleep. He asks them like, why are y'all afraid? And then they're all like freaking out, and I just imagine it being like so dramatic and like, can y'all please just calm down, like this is not a
I'm
big deal.
taking a nap, y'all.
Yeah.
If I'm cool.
Like, why are you bothered?
Yeah, which it's so realistic too, because I'm like, I can imagine that's how, like, whenever I picture a conversation with Christ, that's exactly how he's talking to me. It's like, you need to chill out.
Yeah.
I'll take care of it.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of like we've talked so many times about The Chosen, but like there's
I was about to say, I can't wait.
Where
That's
he's
also
just
what
like,
we were talking
That's
about.
literally what I was thinking.
stop! Like with the whole scene when they're walking and they see Samaria and they're like, why are we going there? And he turns around and he's like, because I said so.
He's like,
And it's
if you guys question every single thing I do,
Yeah.
this is going to be a very long
very
journey.
long.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah,
that
I love
part.
it.
That was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, and so right, I was thinking the same thing for the readings this week, but I was thinking from the idea of this was what Pope Francis talked about when COVID first hit. If you guys remember, I've
Yes.
talked about like
I did watch that.
the preaching to the empty St. Peter's
Yes,
Square.
I remember
I
And
remember that.
still, like, the image sticks out so well in my mind. I remember
Mhm.
watching it with my kids and seeing it and just being like heartbroken in so many ways, because I've never been, but I've always seen it on TV or in different things, or like even if you flip on EWTN, they, you know, the B-roll of everything that's going on is like, look at the people, yay, they're walking.
Yeah.
Look how exciting their walking is. Or like even the images of like when Pope Francis was elected, and like how busy all of it was and how important and impactful, and then seeing it empty and him preach to empty.
It's kind of dark too.
It was.
Yeah, it was like
it was
raining.
nighttime. And it
I remember
rained,
this.
And
I was
they're like
like-
walking him out there with the umbrella, and
I
you're
was
just
like,
like,
so dramatic.
not only is the whole world like shutting down, but like
I'm gonna
Erica
take this
Take it
keeps
away.
breaking things, and so you've got the whole world shut down.
gonna-
Erica's
gonna
breaking
switch.
stuff. Pope
It's a mess.
Francis
Yeah, I
is
won't skip
preaching
that one.
into a empty, rainy nighttime square, and it's like, wow, everything's and he uses this, and he's like, I get that everything's terrible. You know what? The disciples also thought everything was terrible, and Jesus was like, chill out, I got this. You know, and he even says to them, like, why were you terrified? And they're like, because it's like a terrible storm, and you're just sleeping through it. And he's like,
But I'm here.
yeah, but I'm here. Like, I have control of this. I said to a wave, be still and be quiet, and it did. So, like, you've been with me, you've seen the miracles that have happened up to this point. Like, why are you still so worried? And it was this, like, glimmer of hope in, like, this, like, not only, like, literal darkness, but, like, also, like, this very spiritual darkness for a lot of people. And even for myself, I was going through a really hard time where it was like, I don't understand the response from the church right now and how we're doing these things, and here he is preaching to this empty square, and you're just like, okay, I trust that you're right and that everything's okay, and that Jesus is just gonna look up and be like, I got it, like, what are you worried about?
Yeah.
So yeah, this it says, why were you terrified? Do you not have faith? And then they were filled with great awe, and they were like, oh, even the winds and seas obey him. So,
It makes me think of another time when it was stormy and they were in the boat, and Jesus invites Peter to walk on the water. And it makes me think of that because so Peter can do it,
Yeah.
but it's when he looks away
When he
from
loses
Jesus
focus,
and he
yes.
focuses on how big the waves are and how stormy it is that he starts to sink.
Yep.
And so it's the same way with like any kind of problem that we face. It's like it seems overwhelming, we start getting anxious and fearful, but it's because we like took our eyes away from the cross and we like took away our eyes away from Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about that so often. I mean, how many times on retreat in adoration do we talk about, like, it's not until Peter looks away that he sinks.
Yeah.
You know, like, he walked on water. The same person that he says, you are the rock of the church, and then also says, you are the rock that is the obstacle of the church, and says, get behind me, Satan, and you're going to deny me, is the person that then becomes the leader of the church once he's gone.
Peter.
He's the person that, like, stepped out of the boat. He was the only one. It's not like Jesus was like, hey, you guys all stay there. Peter, you by yourself come out. He probably invited them to walk on water, and Peter was the only one willing to take that step.
Yeah.
And he does it. It's not like he floated above the water. No, he walked on water. And then, right, like, as soon as the fear or the distraction comes into his life, he sinks. And what happens when he sinks? Jesus rescues him.
Yep.
Like,
He's
right
right
there.
there.
And it's the same thing for us, right? Like, we're going to fall, we're going to make mistakes. There's going to be times when we lose that focus, or we're not fully living in a way that, like, we're going to be able to absorb the Eucharist through our skin. But he's still going to be there, right? He's
Yeah.
always going to be there, and he's always going to help us in those moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's such an important thing for us to remember.
I love St. Peter.
Yeah. He makes it all very, like, real for everybody else. That's like,
Yeah.
oh, so it's okay for me to keep messing up because you're still there for me. Good to know.
You're
So,
like, if St. Peter can do it,
yeah,
Yep.
we'll all be okay.
Yep.
yeah. He's definitely had has his moments.
Yeah.
That's why I really like The Chosen. I know they take creative liberty on
Yeah.
what the apostles are like,
Backstory.
but it really gives me context because every time I read about Matthew the tax collector, I just gloss over it. But no, it shows me that in that time, tax collectors were hated, despised because they betrayed their own people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that must have been really hard for them to all get along. And I'm watching it on The Chosen, I'm it's actually helped me pray about I've always really liked St. Matthew because now I'm yeah, you also you turned away from your people too, just more brokenness in how God still calls them.
Mm-hmm.
And even the attention to detail that a tax collector would have had. And I think they do such a good job of that, of no, he would have been somebody that was extremely organized and everything has to be compartmentalized in this kind of way for it to work. And I also I love that they've got Peter portrayed as somebody who's he's kind of
arrogant,
short-tempered and just really hey, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, and Jesus is no, you don't have to do anything. Just shut your mouth and follow me, and you're not gonna like everything that I do, but you're gonna have to accept it. So
Yeah.
Watch The Chosen. The new episode's coming up,
not until Sunday, the 23rd, though.
but still,
No.
at least they told us.
Sunday,
Yeah.
the
Which-
23rd
a
is
week from yesterday.
Which a
Tuesday.
week? Today is the
Week from
17th.
yesterday.
So it's
Yeah.
next Wednesday that episode 6 will come out.
Okay, so I have a week to get a few.
Yes.
It's
So-
next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh,
next
that's
Wednesday.
not that bad.
Yeah, it's 6 days though.
I'm a few
It's
behind.
been so
I gotta
long.
catch
You
up.
gotta catch up. This
But-
season. has
You know
been
that he's going to be
amazing.
in town next Wednesday? Dallas
Jonathan Rumi?
Jenkins?
Oh.
Dallas Jenkins will be in town.
Okay, cool.
Dallas, yay.
But he'll be in town in Dallas next Wednesday. So
Wait.
That's really
already
cool.
called to get him on the agenda, but hasn't gotten through yet. We're working on it.
Is
Can
he
we
here
just go see
because his name is down?
So they're
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
these miniature chosen conferences now, and they they opened it up. I don't remember how many people they opened it up to, but I follow him on, I forget the app that they use, but
The Chosen app?
I think
no, it's a
VidAngel or
it's a
the other.
hang on.
Conversation.
Everybody name every app they know. And I'll tell you Facebook. No, I forget. I think it's called Community. It's called Community.
Okay.
So what it is it's like a program.
Oh, the texting app.
Yeah, it's a texting app.
Oh,
They're
she's really funny.
You can send it through Community as if you are that actual person doing things. So I have Dallas Jenkins in my phone,
Okay.
but it's not actually him. It's whatever he's doing through this Community app. So he put in there hey, sign up for this. And so they opened it, and within seconds, they sold out of this conference. And he was, so then they had to go back and be so the conference is in Dallas. If you're not actually coming, to unregister so other people can. But yeah, so the first one's going to be here. They're doing these little mini chosen conferences.
Can I wait outside?
Well, and so yeah, I mean, I don't know, but
I will camp out.
Let's go
yeah,
camp out.
I think
I'll find a tent.
I'm excited for the next
I have
episode.
chairs.
Yeah, I think they've done a great job with it. I do think, clearly they've taken some creative liberties, but I don't think they've done anything creative wise that it's that's a heresy.
Yeah.
I know the last episode was a little bit more controversial. The conversation
John the
between him
Baptist?
and John the
Yeah.
Baptist.
Mm.
But I actually thought that was a very I have no reason to believe that a conversation like that did not happen.
Yeah,
between
I
the two of
rewatched it
them.
because the first time I was like, "Oh, how?"
Yeah.
But then I rewatched it. I was like, "No, okay, this can make sense."
So
Yeah.
there's 5 episodes out of
So
season
there's
2?
5 from season 2.
I think I've seen the first 2.
Mm.
I think I've seen episode 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
3.
1, 2, and 3. But that's
What
we're
is
doing
episode
the rest
3?
of the day. We're just gonna
3 is the episode where they're around the campfire.
No, that was.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry. Yes.
First one is where they're plowing the field.
Yeah.
The second one is the Nathaniel.
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 Yes.
Yes.
The third one's the campfire.
Which Jesus actually isn't in that episode till the very end. So
Right.
that's just kinda
Right.
cool.
You only hear about him because he's doing the healing,
Right.
and
Mary's
then he
comforting.
he's
Mary
totally
comes.
drained, and Mary comforts him.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I did see that one.
The fourth one is where you get introduced to Simon the Zealot.
Yeah,
Who-
that's fine.
I have not seen 4 and 5.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So and then the
And his
whole
brother.
conflict with the assassination, and then his brother who
And then John the
is a
Baptist.
paralytic, and then 5 is John the Baptist.
Which is really cool. I was
Have to
really
watch
happy
4 and
John the
5 this
Baptist
weekend.
came back.
And he did say very clearly, and we talked about this, like, we've laughed about it before, like, you can't really talk about spoiler alerts because the reality is most of us already know the gospel, right?
I know, I said that once. I was like, don't tell me. Then I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I know what the ending is.
Well, I
Just
remember
kidding.
having the conversation, I was like,
Jesus
this
wins.
has got to be the season where, like, Sermon on the Mount is something big. It's a sermon. And you're like,
it's a
oh,
sermon.
we all know what this is about to be. And for some reason, everything just went completely black on Facebook.
Yeah, nope.
It is the dark.
It paused, and actually it paused with me doing like this.
And now it paused with
pause
Jessica,
me
like,
looking
And
down.
now it's just
sneezing.
yeah. Nope. Well, it's just gonna be.
I know.
And
It's
we're
cold
back.
in here.
Oh. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of really cool stuff. We know the Sermon on the Mount is coming. We know that in season 6, Jesus is going to die. So they've already put action.
That's
our
in new season 6?
There's going to be 8 seasons.
I thought there was going to be 7.
Well,
There's going to be 8.
Oh,
I
that's
think was
new.
the last thing that they had said. And so it'll be great
You've been
because
keeping
they're
up?
going to put, like...
I watched the first episode of season 2, but I'm waiting for it
Oh,
to
okay.
be done so I can just watch.
Binge it?
Yeah.
all.
No.
At a girl.
Yeah.
You got to do it at a time.
So it'll be, I'm
I should
really
watch
excited
this.
because then after the resurrection, I do believe that they'll like do a good job of leading up to Pentecost, and then they'll do a good job of like what the church
yeah.
has become.
Acts of the Apostles.
Yeah, Acts of the
That'll be
Apostles,
pretty
yep.
rad.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah,
That's
so it's really exciting.
Don't let us
But-
down, Dallas Jenkins.
Yeah, no,
We want to meet you.
just us.
I want
And
to
we
meet,
want to meet you.
and Jonathan Rumi.
Yes.
True story. True
Man.
story.
Jonathan Rumi.
So,
Eventually.
Catherine has another question that I also agree with. Paul, which disciple do you feel like you relate to the most?
Peter. I mean, I just like yeah. I mean, even in like the ability to lead, there are still times when you're like, I'm not equipped to do this the right way, or I fail, or I feel like there can be times when I can be a foundational piece and an obstacle for different things. And so like, thinking of like that very profound moment where they're sitting outside of Caesarea Philippi, and he asks them who he is, and he's like, "You're the true Son of God," and knowing like the historical background of where they were and all of that, and that's when he says that like, "You are the rock upon which I will build this church," and he uses the Greek word is like foundational cornerstone, and then within like that same chapter, he also calls him the rock, and it's like, you're the obstacle in my way of like the mission being completed. And I feel like there are times in my life where I can really be good at both of those, that it's like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to be the foundational piece that's like, I'm going to lead people to you, and then sometimes I'm also the piece that's like, I'm in the way of leading people to you. So, yeah. Feel like I could have walked on water and denied Jesus all at the same time. Sometimes. It's like, I could do both of those things really well. Yeah.
What about y'all?
Same question.
Yeah.
It's hard too because we only know, we know the most about Peter
Right.
and then John,
Yeah.
but the rest
mean,
of
the two, I don't know,
I
like,
wish I
yeah.
could say I was John, right? Like, I would love to be like, I was the beloved disciple, but it's like, the reality is, I probably am not.
I think I'd be Thomas.
Doubting Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like, nope, it's not possible. Oh yeah, it happened. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, prove it to me. Like, okay, fine. I'll believe you. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, we also, like, right, like, part of it is we just don't know a lot about
Yeah.
some of the others. We always reference James and John together as the sons of Zebedee, and it's like,
Sons of Thunder.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't, James the lesser, it's like, was he just smaller or younger or
What did they call him? Big James?
Yeah, Big James.
Big
Big
James and
James.
the Chosen.
Yeah.
Big James
Great.
and Little James, yeah.
But who wrote, was it James the Apostle who wrote the letter of St. James in the Bible? Or is that a different James?
I don't know.
I think it's at least in the tradition
I
of one
think
of
it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's one of the
them.
James, right?
Mm-hmm. And then I don't know. Luke is attributed to
He's a disciple of Paul.
yes. And
I was born on the
Apostles.
feast of Saint Luke.
And
That's
then
I looked up.
I think, is it the Gospel of Mark that is the account from like the
He was
Peter,
Peter's
because
perspective?
he was
Yeah.
Peter's disciple.
He was Peter's disciple.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then John, we believe, was the Apostle John because he calls himself the beloved
Yes.
disciple.
And he wrote
Yeah.
that the
The
letters
letters, yeah,
in
Revelation.
Revelation.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I really like, sorry, just to go back to the question on the apostles, mostly pulling a little bit from the Chosen, but also just kind of from what you had said, like St. Matthew, his whole story, obviously he as a real person and also within the show, like, went through some things. It's not at all like what I've been through, but there's those points when he's on when he's with the disciples and they're following Jesus, and everyone else, like someone will start quoting the Psalms, and everyone's like, ah, yes, and they all like finish the Psalm with them, and he's like, what?
I don't know
Yeah.
these things.
And he's just trying to make it all make sense and realizing like he doesn't entirely fit in, but also Jesus wants him there.
Yeah.
And like he's trying to catch up. I feel like the moment that I felt most like that was actually I went to seminary. Every single other person in my class had been like an altar server before, and I never had.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just moments like that a lot of my life were like, well, where was I when we learned about this thing, or I was supposed to know this thing? So yeah, at least in some ways, I feel like he's somebody to relate to, and a lot of that again comes from just seeing the Chosen and the way that they portrayed him there.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
What about you, Erica?
I think I was gonna say Thomas too, and maybe that's just because I'm a very visual person. So that's the one thing that I like. Whenever I read that, I'm like, y'all don't get upset at him. Like, I get it.
It's like, you were all
He
thinking
just
it.
needed to see it.
Well, and the fact that like Jesus had come in, that when he did the first time and was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
look, like this is like I am me, and like this is my body, like hands, like see the hole in my hand, see the hole in my side, like the same body that was crucified is the body that resurrected."
Mm-hmm.
And then they give Thomas a hard time for not believing.
Yeah.
And like,
Like, you would have done this.
you would have done the same thing.
Like, I just spoke up.
Yeah.
Right. And I just happened to like probably was going out picking up food for the rest of them and just wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
I'm like, and you gave him a hard time. No way. You're not allowed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it that time?
I think it's roughly that time.
Is it
Yay.
already that time?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Already?
I know, time flies when you're having fun.
Lightning
Them singing and then like ring. Pirates.
Let's put all the noise
Yeah.
into one
Yeah.
screen.
I love lightning
Wow,
round.
oh my goodness.
Okay.
This
Those,
Where do you
yeah,
get those bottles from?
Target.
they were the only case left, or so. We
Of Topo
Really?
Chico, so you got the
Wow.
giant.
You usually have to buy them
That's what he
individual,
told us.
That's true.
but I just bought the whole
Honestly?
case. Right.
Like, I'm with you.
I told you guys, I walked through the later and there was like a whole floor display of Topo Chico, and clearly, yeah, they also didn't like, they couldn't bring up the price or anything. They were like, how much is this? And I was like,
Like, I don't know how to work
$2.
here.
we'll say it was $15.
$2.
I was like, okay.
Yeah,
So,
it'll contribute to our Topo Chico flute expansion.
yes.
You have
Our Topo Chico wind chimes.
Wind
you have
chimes.
Topo Chico wind chimes?
Yeah.
Well, we have
You
a
will.
whole Topo Chico band. And now we can have multiple octaves of
Yeah.
Topo Chico bandiness.
Between that and like the
Bandy?
little
So
drum.
do you like do
On
the,
that note.
and then like hit it?
We
You can see what I did there?
things,
But just yeah.
I'll show you the video.
Okay, I'll see it.
On
Yeah.
that note, yeah.
I've had some really great
You can do a lot
segues
of
today,
noises
and
with
y'all have
that.
not acknowledged them at all.
Aw,
That's
for
probably
her.
what makes them good, is that we didn't need it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Speaking of
Lightning round.
Speaking of
Send
fun, the lightning round. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. What order are we doing this in?
Go across screen.
Jessica.
Yeah, Jessica.
I
Let's
go
go
first.
backwards this time.
We go
Jessica,
backwards?
Erica, Andrew, me, Chelsea.
Yeah,
We're
we can
going
go
backwards.
that way.
We're mixing it
I'm
up.
gonna
It's the remix.
mix
Do
it
it.
up.
Okay.
Counterclockwise.
I'm
All
ready.
right, you ready?
Throwing
Yes.
everybody off.
Here we go. We're just going weird from the start. Y'all just
Send
get
it.
ready. Would you rather have to ride on the back of a wolf or the back of a grizzly bear?
Bear.
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 Yeah, absolutely the bear. That would be awesome.
Bear.
I'm riding my bear to work.
Would you rather swim in a pool of Diet Coke or a pool of milk?
Oh,
Diet Coke, because
I told you we
maybe
would-
it'll help me float since it's carbonated.
It depends on the milk, but I think milk.
Yeah, I guess milk, probably because it's not carbonated. That would just be too.
Right, like what happens
is
if you
it
you know how
tingling? sometimes
you're swimming and you get a little bit in your mouth, like that Coke's like choked right there because that carbonation. Like even as a person who
But
drinks
milk
Coke,
is so heavy.
yeah,
I feel
But
like
it's
swimming
so
in
much
that-
less syrupy too.
No, it'd be
Yeah,
so
go ahead,
hard.
melt. Sorry, lightning round.
Would you rather go to school or work wearing your shoes on the wrong feet or your pants on backwards?
Shoes on the wrong feet.
Yeah. No, pants on backwards.
No, would you have to go to the bathroom? That's like so.
I'm
That's
pretty
so.
sure I've done shoes on the wrong feet. So let's change it up.
If you do sandals, they can. Wear.
Shoes on the.
I'm gonna go with shoes on the wrong feet.
Shoes on the
Put
wrong
a
feet.
skirt
I'm gonna
on.
see if I can like put my
You
shoes on
won't
the
even
wrong
I
feet.
know. I'm like,
Um,
it's just
know.
straps.
Shoes on the wrong feet. No, I could. My shoes could. I could not wear these on the wrong feet because of the way that they're shaped.
Lightning round, come on.
Would you rather
Play the trick.
wear a clown nose or a clown wig?
Clown nose.
I'm just reading the paper.
The paper.
Wig.
Wig. Yeah.
I hate clowns.
Like it's gonna. Oh, good.
You'd pass.
You and Paul both.
I hate clowns.
I'm gonna go with clown wig. Would you rather be covered in poison ivy or bee stings?
Oh gosh.
Neither.
I'm sorry. Can you say it one more time?
Can I just say neither?
Covered in poison ivy or bee stings?
Poison ivy, if I had to, because the bee sting can like stay in there.
It's true.
You know, that'd be
Yeah.
so many.
You gotta
to get
pick
out.
them out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with-
Poison
Yeah.
ivy.
Poison
Poison
ivy, I
ivy. I
guess.
think, yeah, like
Yeah,
I'd rather
but
be
I'm gonna
itchy
go
than,
bee
like, in
stings.
pain.
I'm gonna go bee stings.
Poison ivy will itch
They're much
for
more
so
temporary.
long.
You
Yeah.
can get the
Just take
sting
a
out
whole
of.
thing of Benadryl for the bee
just start
stings.
drinking. Just
You
start
can
bathing
take
in
the-
Benadryl.
little
I'm gonna
sippy
swim in
straw.
the Benadryl pool.
You can take the burn out of the bee sting much quicker than the poison ivy will go away.
I've never had
I
poison
keep
ivy.
trying it. I mean, that's why I said it.
Ugh.
And I've been bitten by bees.
Would you rather be a famous singer or a famous movie star?
Oh, that's a hard one. Movie star. I like movies.
Singer. I want like Yoda or something.
As long as you can do it.
The yodeler.
Yeah.
Jeez. I'll go with singer.
Movie star.
Singer. Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or know the answer to every trivia question?
Speak every language, hands down.
Trivia question.
What?
You know how many prizes I could win?
The trivia nights would go so
Oh,
much better.
trivia
Here's the
night.
Do you know
difference.
what I can do on Jeopardy? Like,
You know how many people you can talk to? I would love to talk
you
to.
talk to the entire
I could
world.
talk to the
Yeah.
entire
I'll go
world.
with languages.
We see what Erica values.
You could buy Rosetta Stone in every language though. If you win Jeopardy.
Win it.
If you went Jeopardy.
But if I didn't want
Like,
you to, if I already knew.
Man, that's a hard question for me because I also love trivia. So I would actually go the
Trivia
trivia
that
one.
much.
I love trivia.
I think I'd go with language. Would you rather have a third eye or a third arm?
Third arm.
Arm.
If arm. Lightning
So
round.
many questions. Like, what if the arm comes out of my back? Where's the eyeball? Is it on my hand? Like,
No.
there's so many
it
anatomy
like-
questions
Is it
I
like
have
a
here.
short arm?
I don't know.
What if it's like a
If
little?
it grows out of your other arm, like,
These are weird.
what if my eyeball's like on my nose? Then it's really weird to buy sunglasses. I'm gonna go eyeball just to be different.
I'm gonna go with arm.
If it's in the back of your head, that'd be kind of cool.
Would you rather be able to control the weather or talk to animals?
Oh, that's a good one.
Dude.
I already talked to you.
Yeah.
Talk to animals, because the weather. I feel like that's too
weather.
much
I'm just gonna say it
pressure.
right now. Texas is so unpredictable that at least I'd like to have a chance.
But I feel like because the weather affects everybody, so everybody will be telling me what they want for the weather, and
Yeah, no, I don't have to listen to what everybody else wants.
I'd be like, too bad, we're getting snow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're getting 80s.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with weather.
I'd probably
I
just
don't know.
make everything 80 all the time. Like, here you go, guys.
Yeah, honestly. I'd talk to animals.
Then go to California.
Yeah, it's the same. But now it's California everywhere. But
Let's just all
Just
hang
the
out in
best
San
parts.
Diego forever.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think I'm gonna go talk to animals
Yay, be with me.
because I could understand what like my dog's
Did you say
saying,
animal also?
Yeah.
and if she could understand, if I knew that she was understanding what I was saying, then it would be like I'm sure.
Maybe it would be easier.
Yeah, it might be easier to communicate with her. Like I'm sure you've said something to your kids and they like don't answer you.
Yeah.
And you're like, I know you hear me.
It would probably be the same thing with an animal.
And so it's like,
We can communicate together, but you're still not listening.
if I like know she's understanding, I can at least be like, I know you hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can still
You just
say
choose
my dog
to
still
disobey.
chooses not to listen.
Right.
Just like my kids.
Just like. Okay, last one.
Ready.
Okay, go.
None of these are good. Sorry.
Do you like things that are oozing or gooey?
You have to pick one.
No. Oh, I had a question earlier.
Would you rather
though.
give up the internet or your pet?
No, that's not a good one. I feel like those aren't.
to leave the show right now.
Internet or my pet?
Or your pet?
I
No,
would
that's.
give up the internet. As much as it drives me crazy, I love Toby.
I think I'd give her. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't
just
have a
kidding.
pet, so.
So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, you're good.
You can have my
My parents have a pet.
Okay, that's all I got.
Okay.
Wait, I have a question.
Okay.
Sure,
This
give
is
it
my
to me.
favorite question. I don't know if I asked this last time. Okay. What is, like, if you could have a superpower that you actually couldn't save the world with, but just made life more convenient,
Yeah,
what would it be?
Batman.
Superpower.
Not to you, maybe. If I could have the super, if I could have any superpower,
Like, one of them is, like I've thought, like, oh, I would do instant shower. Like, and then I would
Yeah.
just be clean.
Clean,
Or-
yeah.
what if I could magically end world hunger,
That'd be pretty.
like as a superpower?
You only have to do it once, but you
But
could.
you'd only
Well,
do it
like,
once.
boom.
Like the snap?
Enough food
Yeah.
for everybody.
That'd be pretty rad.
Anything-
But that would not all at once, because obviously that would be wasteful. But like, yeah, if you just snapped your finger and everybody could have a meal for a day.
Just one day?
Well, every time I snap my fingers.
Oh, okay.
Snap
So
one.
you
It'd be like the opposite of Thanos. I snap and bring life.
There you go.
I think I'd want to be able to, whatever I need, if I reach my hand out, something in, a certain amount of distance just comes to my hand. 'Cause
Like
I
Matilda.
yes, because I get so irritated
You mean like
whenever
a
I,
Jedi.
sit down and I'm like,
No,
oh, I forgot to
Matilda.
get
No
that.
Harry Potter.
And then I have to get up again. It's, one of my biggest pet peeves, so that would be nice.
Okay.
It's not world hunger, but
Yeah.
it's...
I
I
like.
mean, it's like the same thing.
Yeah. Move food from over there to over there. Yeah. I like
that
the
you
idea of
waited until she took a drink to say that.
I'm trying to
I like the
think.
idea of instant shower. That would just be really helpful.
I think I
Yeah.
could have to shower.
Convenient.
But
Convenience.
I don't know.
I don't.
I like-
my showers are not long enough for me to worry about how much quicker they could
so,
be.
it'd be helpful though. Wouldn't.
But it's
I would
like
love
I was
to,
just making an
convenient.
example.
No, yeah, I
I'm
like-
rethinking
But
mine.
Yeah.
instant. A lot of that, instant clean my house would be more useful.
Yeah.
than
There you go.
instant
That,
shower.
that's
Yeah.
it. I'd be like, oh, this place is a mess. Paul, can you clean it? And you're like,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna go with hunger for the whole world thing.
I said
Sorry.
that doesn't save the world.
Yeah,
that
that's
actually
true.
saves the world.
Ah.
So you didn't
It
listen to my
doesn't
question.
save the world. It fixes a world problem.
Okay, valid.
You
Jesus
still
saved
have
the
all
world.
the
Alright,
Whatever.
alright.
Yeah.
Fair.
I'm gonna go with
Friends.
by location, by the way.
That's a
Oh,
good
that's
one.
another good
Which
one.
That is
Is
super
very
valid.
possible if you how to do it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one where it's like.
Well,
what
this is
level
the
you gotta get
longest
to.
lightning round we've ever done
I'm
with
gonna
Jessica.
no, we've gotten to 12 minutes before.
With
No,
Jessica.
with Jessica.
Oh,
With
okay.
Jessica.
With me.
I don't
Sorry, I
even
didn't
remember
hear
the
the-
last time we did lightning round with Jessica, so I don't know if
Exactly.
it's shorter or
Fastest
longer.
time we've ever done
Perfect.
it.
Oh.
Hey guys,
Speaking of Jessica,
goodbye.
thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, guys. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye, guys.
Episode next one. 59.